Pennsylvania, Jacob spent much of her life as an activist for city planning. Her book, The Death and Life of Great American Cities, has drawn a great deal of attention for its ideas involving the planning and design of urban cities. Her views of what constitutes a city's success have been considered unorthodox when compared to the opinions of famed city planners such as Robert Moses. For Jacobs, cities need a sense of chaos and diversity, which is a far cry from the structured and organized cities of her predecessors. Now let's take a look at our own city, Philadelphia, through the glasses of Miss Jacobs. Jacobs describes sidewalks as an important part of city success. They provide three main functions: safety, human contact, and assimilation for children. Sidewalks are part of the structured chaos Jacobs mentions, a characteristic which promotes interaction among people. Unlike traditional city planners, Jacobs encourages people to be on busy sidewalks, away from hidden parks and dead-end streets. Safety is also an important characteristic of successful cities, and is provided by stay-at-home neighbors, who Jacobs calls the eyes of the block. However, there are some issues with sidewalks that Jacobs warns about. In order for a sidewalk to work properly, there is a need for short blocks. Shorter blocks and more corners allow for variance when traveling, which is one way the sidewalks keep people interested. One of the most important functions provided by sidewalks is social interaction. In cities, people are able to have many informal relationships. One can visit with neighbors without feeling a need to invite them into his home. Jacobs criticizes suburbs for this trade-off of public relationships for private ones. Jacobs also says that for cities to be successful, vibrant places, they must possess one key element: diversity. Diversity of people, structures, and property uses. There should not be designated areas for residential, commercial, and industrial uses. This, Jacobs says, destroys communities and creates unnatural urban spaces. Cities must also be aesthetically pleasing, with a mixture of new and old buildings in close proximity to each other, containing a variety of uses. When cities are sectioned off, there is an unintentional creation of borders, boundaries, which are an unwanted and detrimental result of poor city planning. Borders can be created by many different obstacles, such as railroads, parks, buildings, universities, or any other single-use space. These borders cause people to stay in certain areas and avoid others, which does nothing to promote unity of a city. Traditionally, city planners have often suggested a need for parks and open areas to allow for people to attempt to lose the feelings generated by the urban metropolis. Jacobs disagrees with this view. She explains that parks are unsafe compared to sidewalks and well-traveled streets. Many parks act as boundaries, especially at nighttime, due to the lack of light and activity. Jacobs also considers how parks are often placed on dead-end streets with no purpose other than as an access to the park, leaving the street useless. For a park to be successful, it needs to be surrounded by a slew of mixed-use buildings, including residential and commercial. Jacobs talks about the success of Philadelphia's own Rittenhouse Square, a park surrounded by restaurants, shops, and houses. Rittenhouse also has many entrance and exit points, allowing for traffic on all sides. All of these qualities together create what Jacobs considers a lively and successful city park. think it's fair to say Jacobs would consider Philadelphia to be a successful city. There are endless activities to pursue, countless neighbors to meet, and beautiful buildings and parks to appreciate. Although Philadelphia has some negative characteristics according to Jacobs, one may be hard-pressed to find a Philadelphian who doesn't love this city and all that it has to offer.